The many signs that showed the Eagles were destined for greatness. Part 1 of our interview with the great Bernie Leadon. I'm John Beaudin from Rock History Music. Bernie Leadon left the Eagles in 1975 after one of these nights, but he was there for the first 4 albums, which created the foundation for the band's sound, and of course, all the songs for their Greatest Hits, Volume 1, which surpassed Michael Jackson's Thriller as the biggest selling album of all time in the U.S. Sure, Hotel California is known as their best album for most people anyway, which came after one of these nights. But it's hard to deny those first 4 LPs which created that Greatest Hits package. I told Bernie Leadon that a few months ago I talked to Glenn Frey's chief songwriting partner, Jack Tempchin, who wrote Peaceful Easy Feeling on that first album, and then went on to co-write Already Gone and 4 other songs that the Eagles recorded. I asked Jack, did you know when the Eagles released that debut album? And the clip is on our channel already. Did you know that this was going to be that big? I asked Bernie Leadon the same question.
Well, we quite liked what we were doing, right? We thought pretty well of ourselves, and Meisner had been a guy that we all noticed because he was in several bands. He'd been in a band called The Poor, and then he was in Ricky Nelson's band, and then he was in Poco. And Poco and Ricky Nelson's band were both country rock, so we knew what Randy was capable of. I'd been in the Burritos, Dillard and Clark, and people knew who I was on the scene. Henley and Frey were newer on the scene, but they had both been playing out, too. So we were all kind of known commodities in the community a bit, so everybody was very curious. So the Troubadour Club was owned by a man named Doug Weston, and his offices were upstairs, and he had two-way glass upstairs where he could watch shows. We would rehearse at the Troubadour in the daytime. We put all our amps in there on the stage, rehearse, then we had to tear down after 4 hours because a band was coming in to set up. But we would be in there in the daytime when Weston was working in his office upstairs. And I saw him poke his head out of the office and stand upstairs and watch us a bit. Then I ran into him on the A&M lot a few days later, and he was talking to the old Burritos producer, Jim Dixon. And I walked up and said, "Hey, guys." And Weston was telling Jim Dixon that he's been watching the new band rehearsing at his club. And he turned to me and he said, "Listen, that's really good, and don't fucking change anything, And so that was his first reaction, and he was a really good assessor of talent, And then when Geffen, who I think also was a pretty good assessor of talent, he saw one rehearsal and said, "Okay, you're signed." Then when we got Glenn Johns as our producer and went to London to record the first album, partly to get the hell out of town and away from outside influences, but also because Glenn was so good. And Glenn became a lifelong friend. He just came and visited me as a house guest last week. But so he produced the whole first album in 3 weeks, done and mixed. And there were 2 other studios in the building, and Glenn worked there all the time, so people knew him and they felt comfortable enough to other engineers to stop by and listen when, stick their head in the control room. And he was in the middle of mixing, and he'd mixed several songs, and another engineer from another studio came in and hung out a bit and listened to 2 or 3 of the mixes. I think he listened to Peaceful Easy Feeling, Take It Easy, probably Witchy Woman, maybe something else. And after each one got played, he said, "That's a hit." Then they played the next one. He goes, "That's a hit too." And then they played another one, and he said, "That's another hit," And he wasn't wrong. So these are all people who were at the top of their games and, really good evaluators of talent, And then there's the whole piece that David Geffen was still a very young man. I think he was all of 27 or something when the first Eagles album was released, and we were 23 or 4, But Geffen was a rocket that was not going to be denied. So we had basically hitched our wagon to this rocket that was about to take off, and he wasn't going to be denied. So we were the first band. Jackson was the first male single. Joni Mitchell was the first female single artist on the label Asylum. And he made damn sure that all those records got played and that they were given every opportunity to be successful, and they all were. So he broke each of the acts to a new level. Jackson Browne's first single, Dr. My Eyes, was a pretty big hit, top 10, I think. And Take It Easy was 10 or 15, something like that. Top 5. But anyway, Peaceful Easy Feeling and Witchy Woman, they were all basically top 10.
Go to Bernie Leadon online to find out more information on Bernie. He says he's writing new material right now. He left the band, as I mentioned, in 1975 after one of these nights. Came back from 2013 to 2016 for the History of the Eagles tour. This is a long series with Bernie. We talked for 77 minutes. And everything I asked, he just had an answer for. He didn't hold back. And what a nice guy. He's just such a nice man. Make sure you comment on our video, subscribe to our channel, and share our videos. This is John Beaudin from Rock History Music.